All right. Now, let's talk about where I spent my money in 2015 or 2014, excuse me, and where I'm going to keep spending it in 2015. First thing is cover. It amazes me with all of the graphics people out there and how cheap it is, how crappy a lot of publishers self-published covers look. Here's the thing: you want to avoid, as my friend Brian tells me, you want to avoid the stink of self-publishing, meaning you do not want to look like you were self-published. You want to look like a major publishing house publish you. Now, okay, this is a little bit of bragging, but if you go look at the 2KH formula or the creativity checklist covers, they are amazing looking covers that stand out from everyone else around them. Those covers, by the way, cost me less than $50 a piece. All right? Oh my gosh, Tim, $50 for a cover. Guess what? Guess what? If they do amazing work, then it will pay for itself. You will stand out, and above all, you will be proud of that work. I've had my books transferred from Kindle to CreateSpace. I've had them printed. I'm proud to give them to people, and I'm proud to share them with people, and I'm proud to say, hey, this is my book. Take a look at it. And it doesn't look like some self-published piece of crap, all right? So cover is number one. The reason why they say people judge a book by its cover is because you judge a book by its cover. Just like you judge wine by its fancy label, the majority of people do. Same thing with books. If it looks pretty, it probably is pretty inside. If it looks like crap, it's probably crappy inside. The next thing I started doing was I realized that much like my English teacher said, my writing was an abomination, okay, and that I just needed some help when it came to editing. Now, I write just like you and I are talking right now in a very conversational tone. So I write like you and I are having a beer, and I don't want them to edit for my tone or voice. What I want them to add is for grammar, syntax, all the crap that I slept through in high school, junior high, and college. Again, very, very inexpensive. You can get people on Fiverr that this is what they do. They're professional editors, and they're looking to make some side scratch, and for $5 they'll edit a few thousand words. I think when we were doing our erotica books, don't quote me on this, but I want to say our cost to edit was anywhere from $20 to $30 per book. Again, this is something that specializes or that makes you stand out from the audience, okay? It's like, holy crap, this guy has a nice cover, and he has an editor that looked through this. Now, I don't give my editor any credit, like as far as in the book or anything like that. As I'm speaking this to you, I'm thinking, I wonder if I should, just because it will give that... it'll give that air of credibility. It's like, oh, this guy has an editor. Wow, this is pretty freaking awesome. So I highly recommend that you spend money on your cover and your editing, because a neutral third party can give you so much more information and feedback than you, because you're in it, you believe it, you just, in your heart of hearts, you know X, Y, and Z, instead of having someone that has no emotional attachment to it that can say, hey, this is really good, or this sucks, or we need to change this, or we need to do anything like that. And then the last thing is list building. All right, I have, with a couple very simple tools, with a WordPress a domain, a WordPress setup, and a squeeze page, I have been able to generate almost 2,000 people, maybe even over 2,000 people in a year on my various lists by just using a very simple setup to do list building. And the reason why you want to build an email list is pretty, it's pretty well known, but I definitely want to talk about it, because here's the thing. Initially, you're going to be using Amazon to get some leads and get some buyers and get some sales, but where the real power comes is in the list, because you can send that list anywhere that you want. Anywhere that you want, you can send that list. You can send them back to Amazon for a new book. You can send them to Barnes & Noble. You can send them to Smashwords. You can send them to Apple Books. But guess what? If for some reason tomorrow my Amazon account just totally got fried and they said, you know what, Tim Castleman, we don't want any devilishly good-looking, successful humor authors anymore. We're all full up here. I can still go to my list and say, hey guys, look, we're no longer on Amazon, but now we're over on Barnes & Noble, and you can pick up our books here. And here's this new book. So you definitely want to build an email list. What I do to build mine is very, very simple. Okay, I use a plugin called Lead Rocket. It's on ClickBank. I think it's like $47. All right. If you want to get an affiliate link from us, you can. If you want to go buy it direct, feel free to. Okay? But the cool thing is, we just set up a single page on the domain, and all they can do is opt in. There's not a blog, there's not anything else about us. All they can do on that single page is opt in. And if they opt in, then they get an ethical bribe. They get either what I call a missing link, okay, which is something that will help them. So for instance, in our recipe books, we give them like a printout guide of the recipes and a shopping list so that they can just take that to Walmart and get that taken care of. So that would be an example of something that's a missing link, or it's in addition. So hey, if you liked volume 1 of Body Snatchers, sign up here to get a free mini Body Snatchers story sent to you free of charge. So it's like, man, I really liked it and I want to have an additional story. Or hey, you know what, I really like this book, I'd like to get the recipe guide, and how can I put it out there and give that to people. So what happens is, people go to the website. Where do they get and find out about it? At the very beginning of the book, I tell them, I'm like, hey, thanks so much for buying, here's where you go get your free gift. Before they see, I think it's even before they see the table of contents. Let me grab one of my books here. So the creativity checklist, you got page 1, table of contents. Page 2 is my free gift to you. So page 2, right after table of contents, it's right there. Again, remember, if the average reader only reads 12 pages a month, well, chances are, okay, if you bury that in the middle or you bury it at the end, you're not going to have as much success as if you put it right at the front when they're all hot and bothered and excited about the prospect. Okay, just like the same people that this month are buying gym memberships and workout plans and nutritionists and diet guides and blah, 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 blah. If they tried to buy or sell the same thing next month, the enthusiasm would already be gone because people had cooled off. It's February. They've already forgotten whatever it is that they were working on, and oh well, I'll try it again next year. Okay, so simple domain with squeeze page setup, and again, if you check out the 2KH formula, the creativity checklist, you'll see those, and then give them a free story or a missing link to help get the email list. I call them an ethical bribe. There's nothing wrong with doing that to get people on your email list, and it's highly, highly effective. And then once they're on their email list, then you can tell them, hey, this is the new book I have coming out. Hey, these are some topics that I'm thinking about writing about. What would you be interested in? What questions do you have? I mean, there is a no limit to what you can do when it comes to getting information or helping people on your email list. And again, all I need is a domain. I just set up WordPress, and you can have someone on Fiverr set up WordPress for you, have someone set up the plugin for you, get an email autoresponder. I personally use GetResponse. You can use whoever you want to, and get it taken care of. It's very, very simple to do, and if you don't know how to do it, go to Fiverr, tell someone, hell, show them this part of the video, and say, hey, this is what I need, and have them do what they need to do, and they'll get you taken care of, okay? And I do this, again, all before I'm getting ready to release the book. Now it's time, right? So we've had the book written ourselves, or we've outsourced it. We got a nice cover. We've spent money on editing. We have an email opt-in page set up. We have that in the front of the book, in the back of the book, so that we can get people at all times. Now it's time to actually launch it. Now, if you have a name and a following, do the 3-day launch plan. If you don't, do the pump the brakes, and then with your second book, do the launch plan. So let's do this. I'm going to share with you the launch plan, because this is what I did with tremendous success. And then I'm going to share with you the pump the brakes stuff, at least the high level overview of it. So what I did with all my books in 2014 that had tremendous success in niches that I had an email list or following is I would run a limited promotion, and I'd say, hey guys, the 2KH formula is out. And for 99 cents, it's going to be for the next 3 days. Go grab it now. And then a day later, I'd say, hey, just a reminder, 99 cents. This book is 99 cents. It goes up to $2.99 in 48 hours. And the last day, I'd say, hey, here's the last day, and do that. What happens is you get a huge boost in sales when you do that initially right off, and Amazon takes notice. And then they put you on the hot new releases or the up-and-coming list. They put you on a lot of different various lists. Okay, so that's really cool. And use time-based scarcity with your email list and let them know, hey, this is 99 cents. When we get done in 3 days, it's going to be $2.99, and then you raise your price to $2.99. I have found $2.99 for me to be the sweet spot. What I'm going to be doing more in 2015 that we didn't do in 2014, but I want to do it, is I want to get it up to $2.99 where it's consistently selling. then I want to bump it up to $3.99. And as long as sales say relative, as far as total income and stuff like that, then maybe I want to take it up to $4.99 and basically see where the limit is. When I start noticing a huge decrease in sales or people upset with the information, then I will reduce the fee back down $1. Again, keeping in mind that 98% of the world understands it's a $3 book and that hopefully their life will be changed, but maybe not, because they're spending less than the cost of a cup of coffee. 99% of the world gets it. Are you still going to have idiots that are like, I paid 99 cents for this book and I'm deeply disappointed? I was here at the public library, on the public bus system, reading over the shoulder of this homeless guy on his Kindle for a 99-cent book, and I was really disappointed by it. Of course you're going to have those people. But you know what? You're not going to be able to please everybody, and in times like that, you just have to ignore them. That's just really what you got to do. All right? So 99 cents for a limited time, 72 hours, then raise it up to $2.99. If it keeps selling well after that, raise it up $1, raise it up another $1, raise it up until the market goes, whoa, hey, we're not willing to pay $197 for a 6-page book. Thank you. Thank you. Okay? Now, if you're like a majority of people and you don't have any initial customers and you're starting from scratch, that's okay, because here's what we did when that happened to us. All right? The pump the brakes is this. What we do is we use Fiverr outsourcers to promote your free book on Amazon. So what we do is we go hire specific people, and they go around to specific book sites and they list your book. You've got to give them about 7 to 10 days advance notice. But let's just say you're like, next weekend I want to have my book free for 3 days. So they go around and they put all that information on those sites for you manually so that you don't have to screw with them. And it's well worth the 10 or 15 bucks. Then what happens is this. We leave it free for 24 hours. So we get all these people to download the book for free, which is awesome. And the other thing that's really cool is we're building an email list. Now, you're not going to build a huge email list, but if you give them another free story or you give them a missing link or something that can help them with the book they just bought, then guess what? You are going to build a better email list than just going, hey, sign up for my list, right? So the first 24 hours we leave it free. Then the second 24 hours we look at it. If we have a high level of downloads, then what we do is we switch it from free to paid at 99 cents. Here's what happens. Customer goes, they see it, right? They're sent to it, and they go, it's only 99 cents. I'm going to pick it up. Bam. Going to pick it up. Bam, bam, bam. Then what happens is you start making more sales. Amazon takes notice of it, and it improves your sales ranking, again, putting it on those different people's list. If you're not comfortable doing that, I understand that. Some people don't have a stomach for marketing and sales, so what you could do is just leave it free for 2 or 3 days. I like to do the pump the brakes where we switch it from free to paid, free to paid, free to paid, because at the end of the process, I do not want people out there going, hey, thanks, you had the book downloaded 5 million times, but nobody actually signed up for your email list, or more importantly, you didn't make any money off of it. So I recommend you alternate between free and paid. So again, day 1, 100% free all the time. Day 2, free until about noon, then switch it to paid. If the sales start slowing down, then you switch it back to free again, and then ultimately leave it at paid at the higher price. Okay, so this is the world's worst domain, but if you go to kdptb.com, you can pick up our Pump the Brakes promotion. It gives you the outsources that we do. It explains the process in detail. I would do it here, except it's 2.5 hours long, and I know we're already approaching an hour, and I don't want to keep you here any longer than necessary. So I typically do a 3-day promotion on Pump the Brakes. First day is free. Second day we pump it. Third day we pump it, and then we let it go from there. So it's a great way to build that initial list and that following. And then what you do once you build that initial list is you go back and you do the 3-day launch plan with them. Okay, so if you're brand new, if you're brand new, then you just do the Pump the Brakes. If you have an email list and you this and that, then what you do is you do the 3-day launch plan. So build an email list and then do the 3-day launch plan. Now, Here's another cool thing. When you build a list, you can start asking a little more stringently for reviews. Now, let me be clear. You should not purchase reviews. You should not influence reviews in one way or the other. For instance, if I were to email you and say, hey, look, I want you to go buy my book and I want you to give me a 5-star review, that's not going to happen, right? And I'm breaking a lot of Amazon terms of service, and ultimately, I don't want to get screwed and lose my account by doing that. So that's one thing I recommend that you don't do. Here's what I do. Okay, when I email my list, I say, hey, listen, here's the book. It's 99 cents for 3 days. If you would be so kind to go pick it up and leave me a review, I will send you something as a thank you gift. Now, I'm asking you to leave me a review. I am not telling them it will be a 5-star, 1-star. That is up to them to decide. Okay, so what I tell them is, hey, leave me a review, take a screenshot of it, email it to me at this email address, and I'll get you the special gift or the ethical bribe to get a review left. Okay, so and again, if they leave me a 1-star review and they screenshot it and they send it, they get the same gift as a 5-star. All right, so you can't, pick and choose. Everybody's got to get the same gift, and it's got to be as neutral as possible. You can't ask for a good review, can't ask for a 5-star review. I just say go and leave me a review. And I have had people leave me a 1-star review, screenshot it, send it in, and they got the same thing that a 5-star review person got. Now, they may or may not have got kicked off the list after that, but I at least fulfilled my end so that they couldn't go and go, yes, this person asked, and I didn't get my review after I called his book, quote, the worst thing ever written, right? So understand that. Now, I will admit to this, all right? One of the reasons we have the screenshot is, one, to make sure that Amazon has all those reviews, but the other reason is very simple, and that is this, okay? How many people do you know are going to leave a negative review, screenshot it, and then email it in to you? Not that many. Okay, have I had a few? Of course I have. That's fine. They get it. We move on from those people. And let me also talk about that. I don't have it down here, but I do want to talk about it because this was a big lesson I learned in 2014, and that is this, okay? If you get negative reviews, it's going to happen. Both my books that I've written myself have close to 200 reviews each, and they have 1-star reviews. One guy wrote that it was a scam because I wrote a product on outsourcing, even though I wrote the book myself. That guy's just an idiot, and you can't fix those. Amazon's not going to take them down. I used to get in a big verbal battle with these people, and here's the thing, and the truth about it. No matter what happens, no matter what's said, no matter any of that stuff, you're the person that comes looking off bad. Because you're the author, right? So you're supposed to be the well-respected guy that can hold his or her own temper and anger and all that stuff. That you're supposed to be the guy that can do that. But if you don't, you come off looking like a jackass. I mean, that's just being real, okay? So I used to engage all those people. Now, after talking to my buddy Kamal, who's a best-selling author, right? Now what I do is I just ignore them. What I try to do is go in, learn from them. So if they're like, oh, the formatting really sucks and the content blew and his mom's fat, right? Like I would be like, okay, so the formatting sucks and the content needs review. Okay, those are 2 things I can learn. But if it's just like, for instance, I had someone that ironically was on my email list that was upset that I emailed my list for reviews, and how dare I use marketing and sales to sell my book. What a terrible human being I must be, because I actually took the time over the last 5 years to build an email list up that I could email out cool stuff out to really inexpensively and then ask them to help support me when I needed something. What a terrible human being I was. And think of the manatees and the puppies that were killed during that. I actually had a negative review from some crackhead customer, right? I got into it with him. I came off looking bad. Ultimately, I just decided to ignore him. And you have to understand this. It's an unrealistic expectation, although we still have it as human beings, that everyone's going to like me. I just want everyone to like me. Not everyone's going to like you. There are tons of people in this world that hate your freaking guts for no good reason or for a good reason. And you just have to understand, sadly and unfortunately, that's a part of life. And if you let the negative people drag you down, then they will gladly do that, okay? Because they're dragging you down. And I'm not talking about the people that leave constructive criticism. I'm talking about the people that are just trolls. They're dragging you down because their life sucks, right? Because they live in their mom's basement, because they never had the balls or the stones to publish something, because they don't believe that you deserve the life that you want to have. And to those people, I say this, and cover your ears if you don't like dirty words, but fuck them. Seriously. Just ignore them. Let them be in their little cesspool of hate, okay? And let them go to their shitty job, live in their mom's basement, and continue to troll the internet for years upon years. Just let them go, ignore them, and wish them the best in life because they clearly need it. So that's what I would tell you about getting reviews, and more importantly, just don't respond to negative ones. Let them spew, learn from it. If you notice 2 or 3 reviews have the same thing, then feel free to learn from it. If not, just ignore them and just do what you need to do, and keep producing your content. All right? Now, let me tell you about some cool things that you can do to help your success plan going. First of all, I enroll all my books in Kindle Unlimited. What that is, for those of you who aren't familiar, is it's a cool program by Amazon. You pay $9 a month, and you get unlimited Kindle books. And the cool thing as an author is you don't get paid when someone downloads your book. You get paid when someone reads 10% of your book. So for us, what we do is we do smaller books so that we can get to that 10% quicker. And when you open up and you got table of contents, and when you've got a free gift, and you've got a welcome note, chances are that gets you to that 10%. Okay, so the cool thing about it is I get paid right now currently about $1.30 per book. There's some debate because you used to get paid about, normally I get paid $2, so I'm losing 70 cents per book. But here's the thing, I look at it as free and found money. And here's the other thing, with Amazon, the Kindle Unlimited borrows count towards your Amazon bestseller ranking. So if I only sell 15 copies of a book, but I get 15 borrows, to Amazon, they equate that, well, that guy made 30 sales today. So it counts towards your Amazon bestseller ranking, so it counts towards your visibility. I don't know what's going to happen with Kindle Unlimited. It'd be very interesting to see how it plays out in 2015. For the time being, I'm going to use it, at least initially, to prove the viability of the product. And then if I start noticing that it's cutting my sales down or that it's just not doing well, then I'm going to opt out of Kindle Unlimited, because you can opt out of it without opting out of KDP Select. And I'll just be like, hey, you got to buy my book. That's what you have to do. You have to buy my book, and that's all you can do right now. So Kindle Unlimited is a great thing, I believe, for initial and starting artists. Look at it long term, who knows? But at least initial, heck yeah. I'd much rather make $1.30 guaranteed than someone go, well, I'm not going to buy that book because I don't want to spend the $2. Okay? Kindle countdown timer deals. This is something we just failed to take advantage of in 2014 that we will be making up for in 2015. So here's how these work. You can lower the price but still get paid your full commission. So what I can do with the countdown deals, I can say, hey, you know what? For the next 5 days, this book is going to be 99 cents. It's normally $2.99. Buy it. You buy it at 99 cents. You're like, hot damn, I got a great bargain. I'm happy because I get paid my full commission on the $2.99 sales price. Okay? Now, you have to be able to lower the price a minimum of $1. So $2.99 down to $1.99. You can't go 99 cents down to 0. That just doesn't work. Okay? You have to be in KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, for 30 days. All right? And it has to be 30 days from your last price change. So what I would typically tell you to do, because you can't do a free promotion and a countdown promotion at the same time, is this. I would do in your first 90 days in KDP, I would do a free promotion if you're trying to build the list. If you're like me and you already have a list, then I would do the countdown timer deals. If you do both of these with various books to where, I'm going to do a free deal on book 1, so I'm going to get people there, but book 2 and 3 are going to be on sale via the countdown deal. You're going to have a better chance of success. And again, why people are hot and bothered, they're in the ether, they're super excited about your product or service, guess what? They're going to be like, man, I bought this book, I really like it, or I got this book for free, I really like it, these other books are on sale, but for a limited time, bam, I'm going to pick them up. Because they put a countdown timer on the page, and it's just a really, 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 really freaking smart way for you to get paid your full amount of commission and have some built-in scarcity that you can use to create more sales. And again, All right. Let's say you take those 3 books and you bundle them up like I told you to. Now you got a 4th book. Well, you can release that book free or on a countdown timer, and then have the other ones be free to kind of lead to. I mean, there's just so many ways that you can do this, that you can make good money doing it, with building a list off your free days, with doing Kindle countdown timer deals, with doing a limited price time scarcity. And the other thing is this: you can drop your price to $1 anytime. So, and I've seen successful authors do that. They just go, hey guys, you know what? My book's normally $2.99. I'm making it 99 cents for this weekend. Enjoy. And they get another burst of sales from people who are super duper excited about it, or who are upset because they missed it the first time. Because we all know there have been times when we want to take advantage of a sale, but we missed it for one reason or another. All right? So let's talk about the exciting thing, how I plan to go from 4 to 5 figures in 2015. I'm going to do a combination. I'll just tell you, I'm going to do a combination of writing books myself and then using the profits and the proceeds from that to outsource my books. Now, I'm not going to get into the niches that I plan on going into yet, just because I want to test them out and make sure they're viable without having the whole market watching. And then once I find the valuable niches that are making me money, I'll be more than happy to share those with you. But here's my specific plans for scaling up, okay? One, I want to publish a book every 4 to 6 weeks, whether this is a self-published book, a book that I've written, a self-written book, or an outsourced book, okay? I want to build and continue to build my email list at every chance possible. Then, once I get those 3 books done in this new niche that we're going to, I'm going to bundle the books together to give me another chance to sell them all together, and to give what I call a slack adjuster. Actually, I call it that way because Dan Kennedy calls it that. But that's basically a way to go and say, hey, if you like these 3 books that are $2.99 a piece, why don't you buy all 3 of them for $4.99? And now I'm making a higher commission off of those, okay? And as long as I make a profit off my first 3 books and continue to scale it up, as long as I look at those 3 books, let's just say for easy math, each one of those books cost me $100, okay? And at the end of 90 days, so my cost for the 3 books are $300, and then you can bundle them together. So let's just call it $350. And at the end of 90 days, I've made more than $350, or I've made darn near, if I made $349, I would scale up. If I made more than $350, I'm going to reinvest my money. Think of these as like mini real estate properties. You don't make any money with one real estate house. Trust me, I have one real estate house. You don't make any money with it. You're just keeping it afloat. Where real power and leverage comes is having multiple real estate properties that are paying you rent, so to speak, each and every month. Each and every month, over and over. And what's better than one house? 10 houses. What's better than 10 houses? 100 houses. And then you can start to expand to different niches and topics, and then you can go wide. But I want you to go deep first. Stay in one niche, prove it successful, go deep, go deep, go deep. Then when you get tired of that niche, then you can say, okay, here's the thing. I'm tired of that niche. Here's what I'm going to do now. All right? So let's say I do the 3 books and it just bombs. Okay, well, life experience, that sucks. That happens. I'll keep them out there. I'll, over time, make my money back, because, all I got to do is sell 50 copies of a book between now and the rest of my life to make my money back. So I'll be, I may not be making 10 to 15 to 20 sales a day, but maybe I'm making 1 to 2 a week, and over time, that'll still pay for itself. And then I'm going to go out and I'm going to find another niche to approach, and I'm going to repeat the entire process. And again, I'm going to go one niche at a time. One of our biggest problems that we had in 2014 was we were trying to do too much too fast. It was like, instead of saying, okay, we're going to just do romance, right? That's all we're going to do, romance. And we're just going to focus on that for all of 2015. We were like, all right, we're going to do romance, we're going to do kids, we're going to do recipes, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and that, and that. And we just spread ourselves too thin, and we never gave ourselves the ability to win inside of a specific market. So for 2015, I'm going to pick one specific market, or 2 specific markets, 3 specific markets at most to go into. I'm going to go very deep with them. I want to set up long funnels with lots of books that can be producing income, and then and only then will I either scale up or eject or go to a different niche. So pick one niche, give it a minimum of 90 days, focus completely and solely on that, then look at the results. If the results dictate it, give it another 90 days. If they don't, pick another niche. All right? And then once successful, Once successful, then consider unenrolling in KDP Select and Kindle Unlimited and all that, and then start transferring your books over to Barnes & Nobles, Apples, Smashwords, all that stuff. Again, I truly believe this, okay, is that you are not going to be, if you can't make your book work on Amazon with all the tools that they're giving self-published authors to be successful, you're not going to be able to make it anywhere. Okay, if a book doesn't work on Amazon, I doubt it's going to work on Barnes & Noble. And if I'm wrong, that's fine. I don't mind being wrong, and I hope I'm wrong on that. But in my experience, I haven't been wrong. So what I'm going to start to do, in addition to trying a bunch of new marketing techniques in 2015, is I'm going to take some of my books that are high-performing books and start scaling them out to other platforms just to see what the response is, just to see what happens, and just to build a bigger security net, because that way if Amazon goes away, yes, it will hurt, but not as much as if Amazon is the only thing that we currently have. All right? So with that, in closing, all right, let me share with you the fast action plan for you for 2015. First, I want you to create a list of ideas. Then I want you to start researching them, keeping in mind 20,000 or less words and 20,000 or less Amazon bestseller ranking. When you do that, I want you to select a niche, and I want you to commit to that niche. I want you to give yourself, I want you to have an obligation to that niche. I want you to say, I'm obligated to this niche for at least the next 90 to 120 days. Okay, if you do 120 days, right, that means you could do 3 different niches in 2015. Trust me, that will be more than enough to get you started. Then I want you to hire a writer or outline the book yourself. Then I want you to create a squeeze page or have a squeeze page created with you or for you with an ethical bribe. Publish your first book. I would not publish your first book, by the way, until your second one is written and almost ready to go. Because what you don't want to do is be waiting on an author or an outsourcer to complete the work. So I would not publish the first book until the first 2 were done, or number 2 was like damn near finished, right? Like being formatted. Just so you know it's there and you're happy with it and you don't have to fight with it or anything like that, okay? So publish your first book, then know 4 to 6 weeks you need to publish book number 2. If you don't have a list, I know most of you don't, use the Pump the Brakes promotion. Again, you can find out more about that at kdptb.com, but use the Pump the Brakes promotion, get the rash of sales, get the people on your list, and then once you have people on your list, then do the 3-day launch on your second book, or once you have a list, and start getting those people trained to, hey, the book came out at 99 cents, it's going to be 99 cents for 3 days, now's your time to grab it now, grab it now, grab it now, almost gone, too late, still enjoy it. And then once those 3 books are all done, then you want to bundle all of your books and use a countdown timer with your books in order to successfully see how well they do. At the end of 90 days, tally up your cost, okay, cost for production, cost for promotion, tally that all up, tally up your number of sales, and as long as you have broken even or made more money or are very close to it, continue to scale in that niche. Remember, real estate property, 10 houses is better than 1, 100 is better than 10, right? 1 is better than none. Do not let perfection paralyze you here. So many people want everything to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Again, we published 20 plus, almost 30 plus books, and we're still making mistakes each and every time, and we just use them as learning opportunities because we look for progress, not perfection. And that's what I want you to look for, is progress, not perfection. So thanks so much again for everything. Thanks so much for joining us here in the 2015 Kindle Blueprint. I look forward to hearing any questions that you have, and more importantly, hearing about any successes that you have. And you can always reach out to me at contacttimcastleman@gmail.com. Again, contact timcastleman@gmail.com. Thanks for your time and attention, and I look forward to a happy and successful and prosperous 2015 together.